Hello, everybody in Squared Circle Jerks land. I am Pedantic Mike, and Byron's going full heel on me.
That's possible.
He's
clearly my intros are far superior.
He's being pedantic. He's stealing my gimmick.
It's true.
This is cruel and unusual punishment.
Well, I don't know about unusual. I'm pretty regular about that kind of punishment.
I don't know about that. It's still pretty unusual. So today we're going to go through night 4 of the Super Juniors. We're going to go through 205. We're going to go through the fun that was NXT, and I'm assuming you're also going to talk about ROH.
That's correct. I don't think there's a ton we need to say about the Super Juniors. I mean, we both kind of have the same opinion about the whole thing of that particular night, anyway.
Indeed.
So, I mean, you can run down the matches, the winners and losers, but overall, all of the matches sort of had, they had their high points and their low points, but most of them were just kind of mid-point for the majority of their matches. And there was, I think I can speak for you because you and I both said this about the same thing after finishing watching it, was a lot of it was very psychological ring-based and not really this is not Flip Gordon territory.
Pretty much.
This was very technical, which is awesome. It's definitely worth watching. It's not bad, but it was all kind of the same sort of match psychology, which is not what I tune into New Japan for. I can watch Wobbly Wobbly B for the same match 6 times in a row on the same episode.
I mean, there was a degree of variance here that WWE doesn't give you, but I found that we were watching this relatively late my time, so I was kind of sleepy, and I was kind of like going into it, I'm like, this will be a nice fast-paced, high-spot fest, and, there's a place for that, there's a place not for that, and, I'll have no problem, and I found myself kind of dozing off during it, so, yeah. It was not your standard junior heavyweight fare. It was a lot of more methodical breakdown, showing a different side of the wrestlers. Not a bad thing, but not what I needed at the time.
Yeah, if we're gonna have 4 matches, I need one that's doing crazy shit, one that's being psychological, one that's technical mat based, and then one you can do whatever. You can have a mix of all that stuff. But I don't need 4 matches that are all psychological and technical, and just like virtually all mat based.
So the results of the 4 tournament matches were Sho defeated Chris Sabin, Dragon Lee defeated Ryosuke Taguchi. This one did make me mark out a little bit because Taguchi foiled the damn double stomp that I hate. Thank you, Gooch. And Kushida defeated Marty Scurll, and El Desperado defeated Time Bomb, continuing their long-standing feud, which Desperado dominates in a manner similar to Ospreay must lose to Scurll. Takahashi must lose to Desperado.
Apparently.
And then we had 205 Live, which had just 2 matches on it, which is a bit low on the affair scale. We had the Cruel Winter versus the Lucha House Party, which was Dorado and Kalisto, Grand Metalik being the cheerleader this time. We had Drew Gulak on commentary. I largely enjoyed the match. It was pretty good. And storylines were continued as Gulak tripped up Dorado and Kendrick got to tap him out with the Captain's Hook.
Yeah, I basically ignored the entire match, but I enjoyed Gulak on commentary. He did all of the things that were good, and I noticed that the Lucha Mouse Fart guys are using the old Kid and Play logo for the house party, Lucha House Party. So if anybody who didn't pick up on that, now you know. And yeah, I kind of, my first note for this match was Gulak on commentary. I swear we're going to see a 3-man winter. And by the end of the match, lo and behold, that happened. Gulak interfered. Your boy kind of came over and shook hands and was very congratulatory with the Cruel Winter. And it doesn't make any sense not to have him in that faction.
Pretty much.
Leading that faction.
Yeah, he fits really, really well into it. I think he's facing Jack Gallagher in the United Kingdom tournament, which is a bit weird.
Well, they just won't put that on TV.
Yeah. Then we had Buddy Murphy finally getting his title shot against Cedric, Alexander looking to end the era of Alexander, which has been underwhelming. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, nobody gives a fucking flying fuck about Buddy Murphy. And who was it? Your boy Jake Maverick there slipped up and called him Body Murphy, which, I mean, that's the most accurate slip up I've ever heard.
That's a better name.
It is totally a better name. There's little bitty promos. Ali puts over Cedric. Tony puts over Buddy Murphy for being a superior athlete, which I thought was his gimmick. Question mark.
Yeah, but I think they've established a little bit with backstage segments that Murphy and Nice are kind of like, I suppose, a big muscly bro alliance to a degree. So I was fine with that. I'm fine with that as a tag team.
Indeed. And then your boy Jake Murphy or Jake something or other, Jake Goose, Dr. Goose. He's decided to. I swear to God, they repped Cedric's home state advantage about 19 times by this point, and
I figured he was going to lose because of that. Actually,
oh yeah, he has to, right?
This is WWE logic.
Yeah,
gotta learn lose in front of the hometown fan.
My first note for Murph versus Cedric says dubstep in 2018.
We've already made fun of that. Let's move on.
Yeah. I did notice right away that there was about 25 minutes left in the broadcast. And my note here says, are we going to see an epic match or a slow and slappy fuckfest?
It was somewhere in between, in my opinion. It wasn't really epic. It was a little spot sort of thing. Because, frankly, Buddy Murphy is a tremendously, fantastically capable physical wrestler, but he doesn't really have the psychological storyline elements to it. Cedric has a little bit of that, but not the complete set. Not enough to lead the entire match. And so things were disjointed.
Overall, I felt that it was a good, steady match. It really maintained a pace, but that pace in no way lended it to be a great match. It was just a good match.
Yeah, there was some definitely very good moments. I would recommend watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably the best match that I think I've seen from Buddy Murphy.
Yes, he didn't botch almost any moves.
Yeah, his only real botch was he did a suicide dive to the outside and almost fucking wrecked his face.
And he also semi-botched the catch into the barrel roll DDT.
True. But that's at least a relatively uncommon move that I'm allowing it. Mm-hmm. I'm allowing the botch.
Yeah, but you could tell that was a spot they set up. Like, Cedric came in with a reverse Christ air, just like an air Jesus Christ pose, nothing, going, okay, catch me. You didn't catch me. What the fuck? So he had to do this 3/4 catch thing, reset, adjust him, trying to hike him up on your back, and then hit the flipping pancake DDT thing. After hyping up this home, I swear it was like 3-week build for this, about a 3-week build, where they're constantly hyping and hammering home. Cedric Alexander, home state advantage. It's not going to be his hometown, because that would make too much sense.
I think he's from like a really small town.
He's from the very tiny hamlet of Charlotte, North Carolina. And they were not in Charlotte.
Let's see. What is his official birth? Oh, no, it is Charlotte.
It's Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, that doesn't make it his hometown, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Towards the end of Chris Benoit's run, he was from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, but I don't care. They're trying to hype up this home state advantage that he is from. Mm-hmm. He's from North Carolina. Home state advantage. After 3 solid weeks of hammering this home, he got no pop. No pop whatsoever coming out. They're like, hey, yeah, whatever, cool, get in the ring.
They did get a "This is awesome" chant eventually, but this brand.
6 people doing the Alexander chant. They did it like 3 times, and it died immediately. Later on in the match, there was like a "This is awesome" and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is kind of the problem, is that 205 Live doesn't have any residual heat from a week-to-week basis.
Yeah,
like the wrestlers got to go out there and earn it, which. It's less than awesome when you have the talent to create the residual heat. Like, the crowd should come in hot.
Yeah.
And it's never happening.
No, and they even ratcheted up the announcer's volume at least 3 notches when he got to North Carolina, and nobody cared. Like nobody cared. Also, Little H was reffing, so Screwjob confirmed. I had like, everything was stacked against Edric Alexander. They're hyping up how much of a home state advantage this is. They got Lil H doing the refereeing. They've got everybody just gassed to the tits. They've got family at ringside. Cedric Alexander is going to eat shit and die.
You know what this means, though. It's true that Vince no longer has anything to do with 205 Live because he would not have allowed this to happen.
That is true, 100%. That is what that means.
So
that's a good sign. But yeah. I like the match. I have very little bad to say about it. It's just that none of their hype worked, and Buddy Murphy's not ready for any kind of primetime scenario.
No. I'm a little surprised by this. And they also keep fucking up weight cutting. Jesus Christ. They're like, I gotta pump iron and drink a lot of water and do a lot of cardio. I'm like, then stop pumping the iron. There you go. There's your fix.
Do some of that. What is that? Tyler Rollins guy do? What is that? That crotch
CrossFit
fit or something like that?
Yeah,
fits his crotch and stuff.
Also, I mean, the other problem here is like Buddy Murphy comes out here to wrestle Cedric Alexander, and they get in the ring, and we have that storyline that Buddy's having a hard time making weight. Blah blah blah. He is smaller than Cedric Alexander.
Correct.
Like you're fucking this up.
Also correct. Yeah, Cedric Alexander clearly weighs more and is taller. I mean, which should tell you all you need to know. He is taller than Buddy Murphy and still looks bigger. Like not taller and slimmer. Taller, wider, thicker, everything about Cedric Alexander looks more substantial than Buddy Murphy. Maybe not the pecs, but everything else.
Now, they did make a big deal about Alexander cutting weight to get into the Cruiserweight Classic, along with Fabian Eichner was the other one that had the big,
but they've never brought
weight
that
cut
up
thing.
ever again.
Well, they did. Alexander brought it up in a promo, but my problem in a nutshell here is you got this whole weight thing going on here that you selectively bring up. Like either it has to be a constant feature of the show where we're talking about it, and honestly kind of has to be slightly legit, like actually having the guys weigh in.
Yeah.
Whereas they made it into a storyline that doesn't work, and like either you're going to have casual fans who don't know weight cutting and don't fucking care, or you're going to have hardcore fans who are a little bit into MMA, they're a little bit into boxing, whatever, and they understand weight cutting and know that this is bullshit. So either don't make it a thing or make it a constant thing. This whole selective middle ground doesn't really work.
It does not. I mean, it can absolutely work, but they're doing it entirely fucking wrong. It's a very selective. Listen, you got to pick your shots. This can't be like, we're just not going to mention it this week. Okay. So stop mentioning it the 2 weeks prior, because it didn't matter this week. What does it matter the last 2 weeks?
Also, I'm pretty sure Gulag is actually bigger than both of them.
That's entirely possible, yeah.
So,
but I mean, what they need to do is use it. It'd work better if he was a face. If he was a face and he's got a big match for the title, then you really need to hype up the fact that he is trying to cut weight to make sure that he gets his title shot. If he's a heel, no one fucking cares. Oh, he didn't make weight. Fuck him. He's an asshole anyway. That
was the other thing with the Buddy Murphy. Like, hey, you didn't make weight a couple of days before your match. What is this shit? What combat sport are you pretending to be?
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. That's pretty much all. Not talking bad about the match, just the scenarios.
Yeah, this is the booking on 205 Live needs some work. The matches themselves need work, but they're getting better.
I've heard that people are already hyping that matchup as match of the year, and I'm like, that's not even halfway possible.
No,
that wasn't even that was a 4-star match.
4.25, maybe.
Maybe. I would stick with 4. I would not give it the quarter, and there's zero chance that's even in the top 20 for match of the year.
Oh yeah, that's not even the best match of the year for 205 Live.
Exactly.
Quite frankly. Like, and I'm giving it 4.25. I'm being the generous one on this one. I liked it a little bit more than you, but That is no match of the year. No, not in a year where not in a time frame where 5-star matches are becoming very common.
Not in a year where we're getting the 4th Omega Okada match. That is
well, in fairness, that hasn't happened yet.
I do not care. That is a guaranteed lock for at least top 5. I don't expect another 6-star. I'm trying not to even expect another 5-star match out of them. But it's very possible. So if in a realm of possibility where those two are going to have their 4th match, and their previous 3 were the best, unquestionably, of all time, they're at least going to have another excellent match. And this is not even in the fucking ballpark.
Yeah, no, this is not a contention. But this is Buddy Murphy's best match of the year. That's all that is. And then we had the NXT.
Next Ice T.
We opened up with... actually, I rather like this segment between Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, well, they announced that first that the DIY guys are not going to be there because they are not. They didn't say suspended, but they're not. They're not going to be there. They will face each other in a street fight at Takeover Chicago, and then we had Mr. Bannister Black comes down to the ringside area.
Yep, the gist of his promo is that he just needs one shot to kill. Isn't given away that he's facing Lars Sullivan right away, but then my notes read, a large man interrupts. Lars is getting the next shot. Thank you very much.
My note says, Lars is the challenger.
We got a little bit of a schmoz, and Lars Sullivan caught the Black Mass kick and hit a freak accident. This match has me puzzled as, do I want Lars to win, or do I want Black to win? Because there's an argument on both sides.
Well, if Black loses the title and they don't move him up to main immediately, they fucked up. If Lars loses this match, I'm not, I'm fine with it. I don't care. Honestly, anybody who wins this match kind of deserves it due to they've been booked very well. These two have been booked very well to get to where they are right now. So anybody coming out victoriously on this one, I'm cool with. But if Lars loses, where do you go from here? And if Aleister Black loses, do you put him on main right away? Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes. My question is basically, if Lars loses, you're right. Where do we go from here? If Lars wins, is he ready to carry that belt? That's the question I have. And admittedly, it's a question you don't answer really until he takes the belt. So, tough one.
Then we had a Fozzy promo spot for a new song from their album.
Then we actually had Gargano come out to confirm the street fight, and walked up.
No, that was later.
No, that was basically here before the next match.
No, that was later.
Oh wait, no. This is when they said that Candice did. This was just Mauro Ranallo talking. My notes are unclear at this point.
You drunk son of a...
It's just Mauro Ranallo talking about the match and then saying Candice disapproves of the match.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing. We had War Raiders. They're very clear that it is not War Machine. It is War Raiders. My
instant reaction was, why are we getting War Raiders versus Jobbers after they basically squashed Heavy Machinery?
That's the title of the title of this particular segment on my note says War, dramatic pause, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Raiders versus Le Jabier. Really?
Not really much of a point. It was there. Moving on.
Yeah, well, hold on. I got one thing. They're coming down to the ring, and there's one absolute Muppet right at ringside chanting, War, 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 and chants it for about 20 fucking seconds. When it's very clear no one in the building is chanting along with him, it just dies mid-war. And he's not on camera, but I have to assume that he's very embarrassed and sits down. And I'm already bored with War Machine in the WWE, and I think I know why, if I may expound.
Go ahead.
They were just getting very hot on the indie scene. They were just putting together an impressive moveset, their first impressive moveset. They were just about to evolve into another, they were very clearly, they had dropped some titles. It was time for them to evolve into something slightly new, slightly different. They didn't need to change much. They just, get their athletic dudes, get some new stuff in the repertoire and, keep building themselves towards something. They immediately signed with the Wobbly Wobbly Bee. And, Vince goes, they got 5 moves, good enough. Don't ever let them do anything else. Done. So the shit that you and I have seen them do in New Japan is, quite frankly, beyond anything they're going to be ever allowed to do in the Wobbly Wobbly Bee at all, ever. We're never going to see them have any kind of match like you saw them have in New Japan. I didn't get to see them wrestle in ROH because I didn't have access to ROH at the time. And it just... I don't know what they were doing there, but I have to assume that the New Japan version was their best version. And they're undersized for the Wobbly Wobbly Bee. I think people are going to be very shocked how undersized they are. I'm already shocked.
I don't think that they're actually undersized. What I think is that they hired 2 guys who are used to working as the big men who are not going to be the big men. Like, yes. It's not that they are small, because Hanson's still a relatively big guy by WWE, even by WWE standards. But he's no longer the biggest kid in the pool.
Yeah, it's. But I think they're undersized. Well, they're undersized for their role, and Vince is never going to push them, and they're never going to get to change. They're never going to get to evolve. So the last thing you saw them do on the indies is the only thing they're going to do for the next 5 to 10 years.
Probably.
And I'm already bored with it.
I don't think it'll be 5 to 10 years, because I think they'll be out of WWE before the 5-year mark, frankly.
That's quite possible.
But, yeah. And that we're just getting, we're just literally getting jobber matches out of them. Like, yeah. It's... And I know people will be like, well, we're 3 matches in, but I'm like, But they had the Heavy Machinery match, and I was
clearly more over than them.
I was let down.
Heavy Machinery, clearly the superior team. And they've only been tagging a couple of years.
Then we had a Lacey Evans interview.
I don't even know what this is. Yeesh. Ugh.
I think there's potential in Lacey Evans. I do. I think there's some physical ability there. I think there's some desire there. I think there's even some wanting to learn wrestling, unlike some of the other girls. But this character,
they have no fucking clue what the fuck to do with her. And to be fair, she's new. It's not really her job to, at this point in her career, to have a full-fledged, developed concept of who her character should be.
I don't think she really wrestled out before hitting NXT.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up real quick.
So, yeah, in my opinion, this is not her job at this point. It would be her job in 3 or 4 years to have more of a direction for her own character, to deliver promos in such a way that makes, is comfortable to her, things like that. This is badly written, shittily scripted, badly booked. They've given her I like the fact that she's a tough chick that throws a mean right hand, and they call it a woman's right. That's cool. I like that. They're overplaying it. It's so over dramatic when she announces a woman's right. It's so bad and cringy.
Yeah, that's the character. It's like some kind of weird Southern belle meets bitch.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it. They could, quite frankly, they should probably make her a face and have her.
Well, that's kind of the weird thing is, you got a former Marine here. You've got a heavily.
Is she a single mother or just regular mother?
Doesn't say anything about her being married, so okay, I'm assuming single mother. Hang on.
Yeah, because they're making a big deal about her being a mother. Big deal about her being a Marine, and she's a heel.
Former U.S. Marine, member of the Marine Special Corps Reaction Team, the roughly equivalent to the SWAT team. She listed at 29 or 19 years old, served for 5 years, bachelor's degree, blah, 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 blah. No, it looks like she does have a husband.
Okay, cool. I'm pouring wine, by the way. I'm not taking a leak.
So, yeah, it's kind of weird, kind of misaligned. Yeah. Really a lot of face potential in her. Good worker. She was getting over as a face, too, when she first came up.
Yeah.
So
I don't. It doesn't make any sense. She's a mother. She's an ex-military servicewoman. She's a fucking door kicker. She's the Marine the Marines call, apparently, right? So
that's the case.
Fucking, she's a heel?
Yeah, it's
okay. Here's what we need. Triple H, here's what we need. I need you to get a disabled veteran from Vietnam, and we're gonna make him a heel.
It's like making Zach Gowen a heel.
Yeah.
Which actually was done very well at ROH, but you can't bring him in as a heel. He's got to earn that heel.
He's got to become an embittered handicapped person. He can't just show up, be angry, and it's like, no, he's got one leg.
Yeah. So, anyways, to finish up the Lacey Evans thing, she has been training since 2014. She made her NXT debut in 2016. I do have an announcement. So she's been signed on since April 2016. So she was in the business for about 2 years beforehand in some place I've never heard of, trained by some guy I've never heard of. So
really just training then?
Yeah. I mean, she did some small shows. But yeah, she definitely isn't someone who should have come with an actual character. So if they were expecting that, I don't really know what to tell them.
I don't know.
Then we had EC3 versus Fabian Eichner.
Holy shit, this was supposed to be awesome. And it was kind of a rib.
A little bit, because this is when Gargano came in. This is when that happened.
Yeah, for one thing, EC3 is wearing a shit ton of either pro tan that the bodybuilders use or spray tan. I don't know which it is. That dude came in looking like the Cocoa Monster.
He's always like that.
And my note here is, like, is this a rib? Like, did somebody fuck with some cream or something that he's got? And, like, what's really going on here? And at one point, I think he was gonna do a move of some sort. I can't remember what it was, but he yelled top 1% something, and I swear to God he said top 1% porn. I swear to God he did that. I rewound it.
Only 1% of porn does it for EC3.
Yeah, only the top 1%. I swear that I skipped back. I listened to it twice. I swear he said top 1% porn. And then your boy Juanito Del Wrestling comes down with you and just grabs the mic. He's like, "This is a signed fucking contract. I'll see you at goddamn Chicago." But he didn't swear, and then slammed it down and then walks off. And then EC3 and Eichner are like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then EC3 hits his move, and then basically he goes, "Peace out." And my last note on that is like, was that a rib? Like, what's going on here? Is this whole match a rib between the fucking borderline blackface and the weird interruption?
I mean, you could be setting up EC3 versus Gargano down the road.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. Then we had a Bianca Belair, very long package.
Yeah, my note says Blunky Blur promo. Skipped. Fuck.
She's
a 10-20 minute promo.
She's another one that's just not well packaged. I don't think unlike Lacey Evans, I don't think she's necessarily mispackaged. I just think that they see the physical attribute she has, and they're kind of shoving her in our face a little bit while not really giving. They're trying to create an environment where I care about the character without her proving it in the ring. And I don't really think that's going to work.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think she's actually a pretty nice person, right? Like,
I've heard that.
I'm getting the distinct impression she's a pretty nice person. I don't buy this egotistical, I'm the best, I'm the est at everything, which is a shitty fucking thing.
See, here's my other problem here, basically, is that you basically have her running that gimmick in the same promotion that has the Velveteen Dream running something similar, Kona Reeves
doing it
and EC3,
yeah,
they're all doing it better. Like you can't have someone who's incredibly new to the business, and I in fairness, Velveteen Dream also is, but someone incredibly new to the business, and then have her doing kind of a variation of the same gimmick of three of your more featured male wrestlers.
Yeah,
it's just not going to work.
On top of that, isn't she the one using the fucking reverse flapjack that's supposed to be a reverse power bomb bullshit?
Yeah, that thing.
The one that she's literally alley-ooping you and you can land on your feet and not take any damage?
Yeah.
With the fake giant yak hair thing stapled to her fucking head?
Yeah.
What part of this is supposed to work?
And for the record, I kind of feel bad for the girl. I mean, some people seem to like it. I don't understand that, but like much like Lacey Evans, I think this girl has a bright future if they do it right.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just that I feel from what I've seen her say when she's speaking on camera, when I just don't skip the fucking thing, she seems like a very nice person. She seems like somebody I could actually have a conversation with. And she seems like she'd have some stuff to say. And this stupid, egotistical character is stupid. It's not her. It's very clearly not her.
It's also amusing because the announcers don't seem to even really know what to do with it during her matches.
No.
Like Morrow and Nigel are kind of like, I swear, looking at it like, this is so dumb. How do I even sell this? And Percy Watts is just like, she's the EST. I'm like, it's never good when your hype person on the announce team is Percy Watson.
Yeah, but it's just not working. Not working. Do better. And again, not her job. This is not her job at this point in her career to do this. This is very clearly somebody like Triple H should be taking a look at. Or Carino, or fucking
Borash.
JB. Yeah, JB should be having a look at this going, nah, no.
Yeah, these are probably the two examples of the two gimmicks I dislike the most, and it has very little to nothing to do with the people portraying.
Yeah. Which leads us into our main event of the... Oh, no, not...
We have Ricochet versus Donovan Dijak, who's going by Chris Dijak now.
Yeah, so my first note here... I only got 2 notes on the actual match. First note is, fuck, they've had this dude on contract for almost a full year before his TV debut. And my last note says, that's a good match, but seriously, you kept a man off TV for a full year just to job him out one time in his debut.
Welcome, you are now Cesar Bonone / Raul Mendoza.
Correct. Congratulations, you had a 5-star match coming in hot on the heels of your newly signed contract for the Wobbly Wobbly Bee, and they don't have a fucking clue what to do with a big man suddenly?
Yeah. I believe when I was watching the match, I even said to you, I'm like, just give this guy Big Cass's gimmick, because he doesn't injure himself every 2 minutes.
Yep. Or team him up with Big Cass.
That works too. Although he'll look small next to Big Cass. But yeah, it was a good match. Literally the only problem I had with the match is that Dijak was like selling some of Ricochet's shots early on real hard, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not. It doesn't really jive with Ricochet, but okay, whatever. We'll do it. He's
just trying to play to the physique of Ricochet, so that he's trying to put over the fact that Ricochet's built like a brick shit house, so he can hit like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they were trying to go for.
Yeah.
We had the Velvety Rabbit come out and try and confront. What was the Ricochet grabbed the mic first and started talking stuff about the Velveteen Dream. And then Velveteen Dream comes out, and my first note is, why is he dressed like a literal pirate hooker? Is this also a rib? Where does the rib start and rib end here? Because this whole episode kind of smells like a rib.
I enjoyed the back and forth between these two, and I really enjoyed the climax of it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that, maybe we can dig up the GIF and link in the description. And your basic recap is Velveteen Dream or Ricochet hits the ropes, does a no hands flip over the top rope onto, like, he landed right on the rampway, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Landed right on the rampway, casually strolls up the ramp to Velveteen Dream, kind of throws his arms out to the sides and says, "Show me." And Velveteen Dream's like looking down at him, walking up, looks back at the ring, and just kind of like, "What happened? Is this real life?"
Yeah, that was, of course, a response to the Dream saying, "Anything you can do, the Dream can do better." And that is not the case.
We have proven that to be false.
But done in a very good way. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the match between these two at TakeOver. I know you're not.
I mean, based on their original outing, no. But based on their ability to do teamwork in their match against Lars Sullivan, they obviously have some cohesion that I was not aware of. I'm cautiously optimistic or hesitatingly pessimistic, however you want to paint that. I don't think it's going to be very good, but I'm really willing to be surprised.
I think it will be pretty reasonable. I think that you're reading a lot into a match that was basically a non-match because Lars was going to come out and interfere. I think that a lot was left in the armory, so to speak. We did not.
That could be,
we went real half-assed.
If you want me to be invested in a feud, you have to make me believe that they were going to have a match I gave a shit about in the first place.
I think the problem is that with a section of the crowd, the Dream is massively over.
That doesn't matter.
And Ricochet is massively over as well, so that alone makes you hyped to see it as opposed to any technical in the ring. No, you and I have the same opinion. We want the in-match. I'm talking about the majority of the audience, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, none of that matters. If you're having a shit flat match and then the monster comes out and crushes you, fuck do I care?
A lot of people disagree. I mean, case in point, some of the most popular wrestlers of all time really know they agree in the ring.
Yeah, I guess, but seriously, if you want me to care about a continuing feud and the matches they are having are garbage, I'm not interested in that feud anymore.
I would agree.
If you do cool spots, cool. Do cool spots for 6 months and then don't ever wrestle.
I would agree with that if we weren't basing this off of a relatively short match, and then they kind of redeemed a lot of that with the handicap with Lars.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is, based on the original match, this is going to be a shit sandwich, and you're all going to have to take a big bite with crap sprinkles on top. If we're hopefully, due to their cohesive type nature and the ability to do things together, to somebody else at least, there is a glimmer of hope. Whether or not they're able to remove if they're able to remove the punching bag from the middle and do it to each other, cool. But I don't think they can, and I'm going to wait and see.
We will see a TakeOver. And then we had the main event, which was Dakota Kai getting her title shot against Shayna Baszler.
Yar. They announced very early on in this that all 4 of the MMA horse people have signed their contracts with the Wobbly Wobbly Bee. I don't know why or how that's possible based on the fact that 2 of them don't even train wrestling and haven't for over a year.
They can still sign the contract, but I'm hoping we don't see a TV debut from either Jessamine Duke or Marina Shafir for some time.
About 5 years, I would say. They're going to need about that long.
Well, I will say, until they are ready, and until someone competent says they are ready. Because I think one thing one has to realize about those two, in terms of the MMA 4 horsewomen, is Jessamine Duke was not a talented grappler in really any way. She was primarily a kickboxer. And not a very good one at that. Not tremendously athletic either. Marina Shafir, probably even worse. So, whereas with Ronda Rousey, you're basing it off of someone who is very much cut above athletically and has a lot of talent in judo that can be transitioned to MMA, and Shayna Baszler, who was always into professional wrestling and apparently was training with Josh Barnett for a long time even before that.
Yeah.
As part of her MMA training, they were also kind of doing some pro wrestling stuff. So she was kind of a lot more ready than you'd think. if they're expecting Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke to be as good, they are in for a rude fucking surprise.
Yeah, that is equaling the truth. I only have a couple of notes on the actual match itself. My first one is some fantasy booking warfare come to not quite fruition. My note here says, if they're smart, they'll have Shayna take a DQ loss for being just an over-the-top brutal heel, and the ref just calls for the bell. Then bring Kai back months later to take the title off of her as Nikki Cross's version of Harley Quinn.
Well, they did not do that.
No, I'm saying it did not come to fruition, but you could kind of, if that's not some stuff that intrigues your pro wrestling sensibilities, I can't help you. And then my next note says, man, it's kind of standard heel win.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine. It was better than we've been getting out of Dakota Kai recently. And,
more character. She actually did something rather than just stand there, which is all she's been doing for the last while, other than having very quick matches here and there.
Stand there, look terrified. That's your character. And then Nikki Cross came out. And Nikki Cross stole the belt. So, that's great.
She fucking snatched that belt up and then and she made her own match. Oh, but by the way, there's an Alpha Club t-shirt in the front row of the crowd there.
Nice.
And my first note on that is, Nikki fucking Cross! I hope Nikki goes full Psycho Naito on that belt. That's going to be awesome. But she didn't. I was really hoping, because she was making really aggressive maneuvers with that belt in her hand. And I was like, oh, come on, it's going to be fun. She's going to go crazy Naito and smash.
No. The crazy Naito comes after she gets the belt.
That would be fun. So, yeah, basically Nikki tries to make an impromptu match right there, right now, and then makes Dakota Kai the referee. Basically taunts Shayna Baszler to come back in the ring and get her fucking belt back, and then makes the match fucking, what did she do? Like, basically just kicked her in the gut and hit her with the fisherman breaker.
Yeah, the purge.
Yeah. Two final notes. One, it says, this shit will not stand, but fuck me, that was awesome.
That was great.
And then as the camera is fading to black, Nikki basically says back into the ring, your move.
So we will get that a takeover. That will be awesome.
It will be awesome because Nikki's going to hold on to that fucking title regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Full Yano style.
Mm-hmm.
You just try and take it.
Sublime Master Thief Jr.
Indeed.
So that was NXT. That was pretty damn good show, actually. I was really happy with pretty much all of it, except for, as stated, the ladies' promos.
Yeah, it wasn't like the matches were fine.
The War Raiders versus Jobbers didn't really do anything.
No, that's true. Other than that, the matches were fine. They didn't really do anything for me. The main event was very well psychologically done, but the action itself, again, didn't do much for me. Everything else kind of filling in around it did the job, though. And then I watched Being the Elite, the Elite.
Indeed.
Because I choose to use that as a buffer leading into ROH. I stopped taking notes about halfway through this because there are so many good lines on this week's episode of Being the Elite. You just have to watch it and probably watch it twice. I was going to watch it again and I just didn't get around to doing it. But the gist of what I took notes on so far is a couple of weeks ago, Matt sent Kenny Omega a package. We don't know what's in the package. Kenny hasn't opened the package. We finally, he's been toying with it. They've been doing vignettes about him looking at the package, and even Coda's like, dude, just fucking open it. We were friends, and then we had problems, and now we're really good friends again. They're your friends. You're just having problems right now. Just open the package. And he's like, no, I'll do it later. And Kenny's being a little emo. And so Kenny's texting Matt back and forth, and he said he hasn't opened the package, but he'll do it and then contact them after Dominion, which is going to be next weekend.
Nice.
Somebody called it they're doing a tour of Europe or the UK, and somebody I can't remember who it was, keeps referring to it as Edinburgh, Scotland. There was a quick, or not, there was a bit of a promo package where the Bucks are saying goodbye to the Legion Hall because PWG aren't running shows there anymore. So that was kind of where they broke in, and they were sad to see it go. But I guess the guys at the Legion don't want to book wrestling shows there anymore. And then we cut to Japan, where apparently Flip. So in the previous episode, it has come to life that Marty Scurll's big money contract to record and sing music is a total sham. Like, he got fired because he refused to do anything but covers, and they don't say it right out loud, but it's pretty obvious that the Young Bucks are hiding behind camera. You just see their hands poking in from off camera from behind, and they're doing these really horrible Boston accents, Marty, and it's fucking funny. And so he got fired, and so his big $1 million contract went up in smoke, and he tried to tell the Bucks, but they kept insisting that he was doing awesome, and he just didn't know how to break it to him. So last week, they basically, he finally broke down and told him, and they're like, the only way we will forgive you is if you help out Flip in Japan while doing the Best of the Super Juniors. And he's like, what, for a couple of days? They're like, no, 2-3 weeks.
The whole time.
So basically, Marty's looking after Flip Gordon in Japan. So we cut to Flip Gordon on camera, and he's like, wow, Marty's taking me to Ribera Steakhouse for the first time, and oh man, this is the best, and this, that, and the other. And then we cut to Marty hanging out with fat ass Masa, who insists that you go to the Hardcock Cafe, which is tradition.
That's tradition.
Marty asks Masa who's going to win Best of Super Juniors, to which Masa replies Flip. To which we cut back to the UK, where somebody says Don Callis instead of the Doncaster. I believe it was one of the Bucks. So, anybody from Doncaster, you are
now from Don Callis.
And then at that point, I just stopped taking notes because I was laughing so hard. I think I only took notes on maybe half the episode, maybe 3/4, 2/3 or something. But there was just so many good lines of just ridiculously good stuff. It's a gold mine, this particular episode. I can't remember. I think it's 104? Whatever one is up previous to this episode going up. Use your intelligence and a calendar to look at what date this was posted on, and then find the episode the week previous.
Excellent.
Or else.
Now ROH.
Now ROH. That kind of prefaces some stuff that's going on in ROH. And actually, I watched Being the Elite after watching ROH. So my first note on ROH says, fuck, I typed Nikki instead of ROH. I was just jazzed on Nikki Cross. Colt Cabana on commentary with your three hosts, Ian, Rick, and Bonnie. And anybody not getting that joke, the guy's name is Ian Riccaboni.
Indeed.
We had to open up right away. I don't know, you didn't watch ROH?
I did not have the time.
Awesome.
The deal is that I'm currently hunting for an apartment, and to be honest, it looks like I'm not going to find one, and we're probably going to have to sign a lease where we are now. Which
you come sleep on my couch.
I'm looking for a bigger place, not a couch.
Well, goddamn it. I'm sure we can find something. Anyway, we kick off the show right the fuck away with the Dogs, Little Willie and Red Titus versus Cheeseburger, and Cheeseburger has a mystery partner.
It's always Liger.
My first note is there gonna be some shotays like a motherfucker up in this bitch. And then there was a commercial for Chris Jericho's Rockin' Rager Cruise. Chris Jericho is fucking everywhere. They had a promo for one of his songs on 205. They got shirts and something else, I think, on NXT. And now he's being advertised during ROH. Chris Jericho is taking the fuck over.
Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho does it right.
Correct. Yeah. There was a pretty sick backbreaker / knee lift combo that they pulled on Little Willie. It was pretty disgustingly awesome. There was some friction between Little Willie and Red Titus because there was a little bump and grind action between the two guys, and then Little Willie was on his back, so Red Titus basically monkey flipped his own partner into the air, and luckily Little Willie was able to hit a flying forearm on somebody else. It was a really good combo, and it worked really well as a tag team maneuver, but it made it look like they were just totally fucking up and happened to get lucky.
Cool.
At one point, Red Titus slaps Little Willie in the back of the head, accidentally, ? Liger hit a Shote and a Liger bomb, only got a 2 count. There was a hammerlock lariat from Little Willie, but no pin. And then Liger double Shote, or Liger and Cheeseburger double Shotes Little Willie, and then double Shotes Red Titus. There's a brain buster, and Ligerburger gets the win.
I like the tag team name Ligerburger. If nothing else, that would be amazing.
Ligerburger. We had a promo from Dalton Castle, which was fucking excellent.
He always is.
I'm not gonna lie, this episode of ROH was very, very good. He says basically Cody and Marty can't make up their mind who's challenging him because he's beat them both and fuck you. So he's told them it will be a 3-way dance. They don't have a choice because he's the champ. And he closes it out with the best line. You've been feeding me lines from the Expanse. This, I think, might top that. He says, I would fight a grizzly bear over a parking space. So what do you think I'm going to do to the two of you?
That's pretty damn good.
Which led us into Sumi Siaki versus Jenny Rose.
I like Jenny Rose.
I think they announced Sumi Siaki as being from Jersey Shore, Japan.
That is the case.
How is that a thing?
There's, she's kind of like Jersey Shore, but Japanese.
So in Japan there is a Jersey Shore?
I don't think that there is. I think it's more just a storyline deal.
Okay, because I listened to it 4 times, and I'm damn sure that's what they said, and I don't get it. So, and my second note is, that ref is very fat.
They do have a couple of those.
Indeed. There was a lot of good back and forth shit. Totally enjoyable. At one point, Sumi Siaki hit a very, very Japanese high crossbody onto the outside. Oh, it got very Japanese very fast up in this bitch. The whole match was very stiff, very good back and forth action. Sumi Siaki got the win. 7 out of 10 would recommend. Go watch that match. From 2 people I had not seen wrestle before. So cold opening on that one. Very well done. We got a Marty / Cody promo. Cody keeps trying to announce that he is having he himself will be claiming the title shot against your boy Dalton Castle. To which Marty keeps lovably and goofily interceding to say that he will, Marty Scurll the villain! He's trying to treat Cody's big dramatic announcement as a hype piece for himself.
This sounds entertaining as fuck. I need to go see this. It
was entertaining as fuck. And to which the closing line, they tried it like 2 times, maybe 3 times. And then finally Cody's like, damn it, Marty, and just walks off camera. There's an SCU promo. Apparently they're getting fired because the Kingdom still have their stolen belts because the SCU are the 6-man champions. But they're pretending, I didn't get it. The upshot is that the Kingdom, many weeks or months past, stole the physical belts from SCU after they won the titles.
They pulled the Nikki Cross.
They pulled a Yano. So they've been trying to get their belts back, and I guess on TV a week or so ago, the Kingdom actually won their belts back in a match, but it was not televised, and they didn't really explain that very well in this. So I guess it's been made very clear by Joe What's-His-Nuts that's in charge that SCU will not be re-signed, so whenever their contract's up, they're just gone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Then we had a last real promo from Silas Young, who's talking shit about Austin Aries. So guess who Silas Young's wrestling next week on ROH?
Austin Aries. Thank you.
Correct. So that'll be fun.
The real vegan versus the last real man.
Indeed. So we'll see if the belt collector comes and grabs more gold. And I think he was also talking shit about Jay Lethal. I just can't remember. Because Jay Lethal's on this thing to correct, like, he's basically going to beat everybody who beat him in the last
The redemption path.
Yeah, so I like that. Yeah, and I have another note here. Apparently, the Kingdom won the titles from SCU a week ago, but not on TV. And to which we had a 6-man tag between the Kingdom and SCU.
Cool.
It was SoCal Uncensored for anybody not educated. Who was it? The Vinny Marsalia comes down with a really crazy mask on and a shitload of balloons. You explain that one to me. I don't understand, but I'm fine.
I have no idea.
Anyway, the balloons were very much used in the match. Daniels opened up the match and did some shiznizzle to Vinny Marsalia, grabbed one of the balloons, and then smashed it over his head for not only a massive pop from the balloon, but the crowd went fucking ballistic. Like, ah! It was great. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Scorpio Sky tagged in. There was more shenanigans. Vinny got the upper hand on Scorpio Sky, grabs a balloon, and just literally leans over and pops one in his ear, just to do it. To which there is a huge "This is awesome" pop from the crowd.
Excellent.
Yeah. Scorpio hit a sick leaping double stomp to somebody's spine. I didn't write it down. And then Kaz might have had the spot of the year right here.
Kaz will do that.
He had, what's his name, Matt Taven?
Matt Taven is one of the Kingdom, so
Yeah,
I assume you're correct.
So yeah, they had Matt Taven on the apron. He was on the inside. He did the slingshot pull, so they both grabbed the ropes. The guy on the inside pulls the top rope to kayfabe slingshot the guy in over the rope. So, and then usually you just watch your opponent fall down and then you do something horrible to him. Not Kaz. Kaz did the slingshot pull-in into a cutter, rolled him up, was told by the ref he had the wrong guy. The guy who, I can't remember which one, it wasn't Vinny Marsalia and it wasn't Taven because he had Taven rolled up and was sitting down on him. The right guy, the third guy of the group, I'm not sure what his name is, can't remember, the guy with the bat, comes in and basically identifies himself as I'm the legal man, dipshit. To which Kaz basically punches him in the stomach or something, I don't remember.
You are referring to TKO Ryan.
Right, TKO. I keep forgetting his name. And so he basically doubles him over, hits him with a Northern Lights suplex while still rolling Matt Taven up. Holy fuck, it was good. Jesus. Yeah, that's worth watching right there. It devolved into a swears match. So that was fun, enjoyable.
So drink.
Most drinking, yes. Daniels did my favorite spot in the world where he bunched up the Kingdom on the outside, held them together, and then when somebody came flying off the ropes to do, it was Scorpio with the plancha, he moved out of the way. Isn't that ingenious that you wouldn't be underneath some fucking falling bodies? Wouldn't that be a good move?
Maybe he pulled the Samoa Joe.
So this was really the week of not being a stupid wrestler if you're not in the WWE. Because if you're a stupid fucking wrestler, you just all stand together single file and let everybody jump off the rope and hit you, whether they're on your team or not. In real wrestling, you get your enemies together, hold them there, and then watch your boy come off the ropes and then move.
Yep.
And I think they did that a couple of times. Eventually, Kaz grabbed a chair came in, was gonna smash a dude. Dude got out of the way. It bounced off the ropes, and Kaz KO'd himself.
Not the first time that has happened.
And then the ref turns around and DQs the Kingdom because Kaz is unconscious next to a chair.
La, a cheat, a steal.
So the best in the world will be, at best in the world, there will be a triple threat for the title. I believe we'll probably see these guys go at it for the 6-man titles. I don't know where the Hung Bucks are going to fit into that, or if they're going to. Maybe we'll see a return match against the Briscoes, probably. And fuck, man, that match was 10 times better than I thought it was going to be. It was awesome.
This is good. I can't wait for this apartment hunt, Dan. Preferably with me getting a new place as opposed to staying at this new place at the same place.
My rifle.
So that I can work some ROH into my schedule.
El schedule.
And that means I will stop even remotely trying to watch Impact Wrestling for a bit.
Don't pretend like you're not going to continue to watch Impact Wrestling.
I mean, if I need to vomit, it's an option.
I was thinking about watching Impact Wrestling. Actually, I saw like I got all this stuff watched on Wednesday night because NXT and 205 are out on Wednesday nights, and so is ROH. So I just watch them all then, and so I can watch all these programs in the time it would take me to suffer through fucking Raw.
That's true.
And then I got extra time. Technically, I got 4 extra hours of not watching wrestling, which we spent some of that watching your boys in Japan. So It was good times. Good times. Liking it a lot better.
And we both saw Deadpool 2.
Indeed. Holy fuck.
So do we have any thoughts for the people?
Go watch it twice because you're going to laugh too hard the first time.
Indeed. I liked it a lot. Thought it was great.
Bring a couple of Kleenexes so you don't, you're not obviously crying.
Also a couple of interesting cameos. Keep your eyes open for that.
What I noticed, and maybe I just didn't catch it. I didn't see a Stan Lee cameo.
I did not either, actually. I'm sure it was there somewhere.
Well, I think he's like 90 million years old, and he probably shouldn't be doing that sort of thing.
I don't think that's really terribly hard to do his cameos.
Yeah, well, I mean, his cameo from the first Deadpool was the best anyone's ever done with him.
The next on the stage, Chastity. So yeah, great stuff.
That was his scene was done on a different set, and there were no girls around.
There was one character that did not get to show off his powers. That I'm a little disappointed about, but otherwise, fantastic movie. Go watch. No, Cable got to show up plenty.
You mean Havoc?
No.
You mean Sugar Bear?
No. Sugar Bear had no powers.
Do you mean he has the power of mustache and love?
That's true.
Shatterstar?
That is the one.
What is his power besides turning into douchebag goo?
I don't recall, but I remember reading comics and thinking it was really cool. So, slightly disappointed.
I think we'll probably get to watch it because anybody who hasn't seen Deadpool, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the after credits scene kind of does things, and then we'll probably see him again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Since the next movie is going to be an X-Force movie.
Should be interesting. A lot of the unsung heroes of the Marvel Universe, actually, with X-Force, so that'll be fun. So yeah, go watch Deadpool 2, go watch ROH, because that apparently was amazing. NXT was worth your time, 205 Live was worth your time, New Japan was worth your time, so yeah, actually pretty good stuff this week.
X-Force.
And we're headed out so I can go and find the Miller bot and have him dig me a new Subway.
X-Force.